Hey ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to take a look at the Proto Axis Pro paintball mask. The Axis Pro is Proto's high-end paintball mask. It's meant to compete with things like the i3 Pro, the i4, eFlex, eVent, those types of goggle systems. As such, this mask has a lot of the features that you'd expect of a goggle in that range. For instance, it has what you could consider a quick change lens system, even though it is by no means as fast as other systems like the i4 or the eVent or eFlex or anything like that. This lens actually is removed by turning the clips for the straps right here on each side and then popping them out. That allows you to remove the lens, the external lens frame, and then once that's done, the lens pops out very easily. Now, this is a quick change lens system. It doesn't take that long, but it takes a little getting used to, and it's more complicated than similar systems like that you see on the eVent. This is because the frame here is what's holding the lens in place, and getting that back in conjunction with the lens can be a little bit of a challenge. Plus, the earpieces don't click into place quite as easily as the ones on the eVent that has the very similar system where you twist the strap clip and then push or pull something through it. So yes, this is a quick change lens system, but there are much better lens change systems out there. In terms of ease and time required to change the lens, this one falls on the continuum somewhere between all of the other quick change systems and the JT. It's probably 3/4 of the way to the rest of the quick change systems. It's much better. It's light years ahead of the JT system, but it's by no means as quick and easy as some other goggles that are out there. These lenses are thermal lenses. They have a wide field of view, they're very clear, and they're readily available, so I can't say anything bad about the lenses. They are good. The foam on these goggles is a little bit soft. It's comparable to that you'll find on the i3 or the i4, of course, because it's Proto. So it's not bad, it's not uncomfortable, but it's certainly not as nice as the very dense JT and now Empire foam. This goggle has an interesting kind of construction. The middle you can see here is well vented and it's kind of flexible, as most goggles nowadays are in the high-end goggle market, have some sort of rubber or flexibility in the nose or face region. Okay, and you can see that right here. On the sides though, this is actually all the cloth soft ear. This is one piece all the way around. It goes all the way down to your chin almost, all the way along the jawline. And in that regard, this is actually kind of a throwback to like the old vent systems or the JTs that had the soft ears that would actually come all the way down your face. This is pretty much the only one now that's like this. I guess the purpose would be to promote bounces. You could also accomplish that by having rubberized sides of the goggles, but cloth works just as well. So now, of course, let me show you the coverage. The first thing I want to point out here is that these goggles breathe quite well. There's a lot of venting in the mouth region, and it shows. These goggles are quite breathable. They're not as breathable as something like the ProFlex, where you barely feel the bottom is there, but they are definitely one of the more breathable goggles that are available. You'll notice that the goggles are relatively short. Part of my chin is sticking out of the bottom here, even when my mouth is closed. On the sides, you'll see that the jawline coverage is a little bit lacking. Part of my cheek is definitely exposed right here, right there. And on the ears, you can see that the soft ears leave a bit to be desired, as part of my ear is definitely hanging down out of the soft ears. So this goggle definitely has the coverage profile of what are considered high-end goggles that are a little smaller, a little tighter, don't provide the same degree of coverage as the more entry-level goggles. I want to point out that unlike some goggles that have, shall we say, questionable coverage around the jawline, like the i4s, these goggles don't sit particularly close to your face around the jawline, whereas the i4s are right up against your face. These actually kick out quite a bit in the bottom. You can see here by the chin, they're rather close, but then as you go up the jaw, they actually kick out a bit. And you can see that in the profile from the front here and here. They really do kick out around the bottom of the jaw. So that could arguably provide some extra cover from the front, even if the height of the jawline protection isn't so high. Being a little bit wider from the front is going to give you that protection at the expense of being more exposed from the side, and particularly from kind of the back at an angle. You also have attachment points here for Proto's proprietary fan and for a visor. I don't recall if this comes with a visor, but any of Proto's visors, for instance on the Switch, will fit on this little brow shield here, has the attachment points for the visor. One more positive thing I want to mention about these goggles is that they are quite comfortable. There are a lot of goggles that I don't particularly find comfortable because either they don't sit well on my face or I feel like parts are too loose or too tight. These goggles don't have that problem for me, so I do actually like them despite the fact that I don't care for the coverage around the chin especially. Of course, that's all personal preference. Your mileage may vary. You might put these on and think this is awful, I'm never going to wear these again, which is perfectly reasonable. New, these goggles go for $80, which puts them kind of at the low end of the high-end goggle price scheme. Consider that goggles like the i4s and the eFlex go for $110, the eVents are around $100, the grills I think are $90. So these being $80 are definitely on the more affordable side of the high-end goggle market, but again, it comes with a few little quirks like the not as quick change lens system and the soft ears all the way down that kick out a little bit in the corner of the face. Overall, not a bad goggle system at all, especially if you have a shorter face. These will probably fit you very well and you may end up liking them a lot. I know a few people that find these extremely comfortable and really like them. These are the Axis Pros from Proto. Overall, this is not at all a bad goggle system. This is actually quite nice. It's a little bit small, so if you have a smaller face, this is probably better. If you have a bigger face, you might want to go for something with better coverage, like the Profiler. But overall, this is quite a good goggle system, and considering its price at the low end of the scale for a high-end goggle, this is not a bad option if you find it comfortable and the protection adequate. That's my opinion on the Proto Axis Pro goggle system. Thanks for watching. See you soon.